Hey, how's it? We're continuing with the Bootcamp preparation series, and today we'll be doing star patterns. We'll cover the square pattern, the inverted mirrored triangle pattern, the hollowed mirrored triangle pattern, and lastly the hollow square pattern with diagonals. Let's start with the square pattern. As you can see, the number of rows and the number of columns are equal, so for every n rows, we need to print n columns. We'll use a nested loop to create this combination of rows and columns to make our square pattern. So for r in range n, r as in row, this will represent our outer loop for rows, and inside this loop we add another. So for c in range n, c as in column, this will represent our inner loop for columns, and since we want to print as many stars in our column as rows, we'll run the inner loop n times. Next, we'll display our stars. So in each iteration, print one star and override the end of our output with a space rather than a new line. So now we need to add a print statement to move over to a new row after all the stars we have been printed. If we run this, we get our square pattern. Next up is the inverted mirrored triangle. We'll follow the same procedure as we did for the square pattern, but instead of printing all the stars, half of the square will be made of empty spaces. Let's modify our square pattern code. Since we have n rows, our outer loop remains the same, but our inner loop, which represents the columns, will have to be modified. We first want to print empty spaces to occupy the left half of our square. So notice that the empty spaces gradually increase. So when row number is 0, we have 1 empty space, and when row number is 4, we have 5 empty spaces. So in our inner loop, we need the range to be row plus 1, because when row number is equal to 0 plus 1, we have 1 empty space, and this will increment until row number is equal to 4 plus 1, which makes it 5. We're not done yet, so we need to print the stars in our other half. Notice that the stars gradually decrease from n to 1. We can do this by adding another inner loop that prints the stars. We'll start from n and decrement by 1 in each iteration until we reach 1. If we run our code, this will print our mirrored right triangle. Please like if you found this video helpful and subscribe for part 2, which is coming next.